Alright guys, so today I'm going to be making gelatina de café, or in English as we say, coffee jello or gelatin. So I went to McDonald's and bought 6 cups of McDonald's coffee because I didn't know how much I was going to need. I ended up having 3.25 of extra cups, so I guess you just need 2. But what I did, I measured about 3 cups of coffee into here, and then I poured it into there, and then I put just 1 cup of water to dilute it a little bit so it's not as strong. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm going to dilute my unflavored gelatin into here. So that's 1 cup of water, so it should be about I lost my math, but you know, we'll come back. So at this point in the recipe, I had forgotten how many cups of coffee and how many cups of water and how many cups of diluted unflavored gelatin I used. So I believe I used around 3 cups of coffee and then 1 cup of water to dilute it because I didn't want it to be as strong. And then I diluted the unflavored gelatin in 1 cup of water, so that should have made it 5 total cups of liquids, I guess. I don't know, but I'm just doing this for fun. It's so inaccurate and so disorganized, but you know, we're just here for fun. So and to sweeten it, I used brown sugar. I used about, I want to say 3.5 big ass scoops of these, because you know, gotta be sweet, but sometimes it's gotta be a little bit aromatical or bitter. So right now I'm just diluting the unflavored gelatin onto here. I used about 6 cups, and I think I'm going to add like a half of the other one, but we'll see. So now what I'm gonna do is pour it in while it's still hot, and then you're gonna stir it to dilute the gelatin in the hot. And just make sure that there's no like little specks. It's gonna start looking thick right away, but I don't know if I should add more. So now, since I have a little bit extra of unflavored gelatin into the cup, I'm just gonna pour a scoop there. I just made a mess, but that's okay. And you're gonna swirl it. Make sure you got all of it on there. To the sides. After you're done diluting the unflavored gelatin into the coffee, you're going to transfer it over onto this glass thingy, Pyrex glass thingy majiggy, and you're gonna let it refrigerate overnight or for at least 5 hours. Now I've transferred it into my Pyrex thingy majig, and I'm going to let it cool because, as you can see, there's still a little bit heat coming off of it, so you're just gonna let it cool. And what I like to do, I like to pop the bubbles with a little toothpick. If you guys do not want to buy the McDonald's coffee, you can just dilute about, I want to say 6 tablespoons of instant coffee into 4 cups of water. Just make sure you let it boil through, and sweeten it, because I sweeten mine with brown sugar, but you can literally sweeten it with any. Okay, so now it is the next day. I have left it in the refrigerator overnight, plus about 6 to 12 hours, because I just got home from work. But if you slap it, jiggle, because you know it's gelatin. So now you're just gonna cut it up into little squares, and I'll show you how in just a minute. So I always like, sorry, you guys can hear my my plastic gloves in the background, but so I always like to have a plate to cut on. I don't like to cut it on my cutting board because it either tastes like onion or anything, and we don't want that. So this is my jello. This is where I'm going to put all the cut up pieces, and I'm gonna cut it here. Okay, so now I took off my first piece of Jello, and it looks like this. And I cut it in half because if you don't, your squares are going to be really long and it's going to be impossible to swallow. Some horizontal slices like so. See, I know my
No,
math,
Maria,
so,
you clearly don't know your
yeah.
math. You didn't even know how many
I'm gonna
cups of
go
freaking coffee you
like
used.
this and make little squares, as you can see. And they don't have to be perfectly square, just as long as they're like a good edible size, because yeah. So for the second part of the Jello, after you have cut it down in, you know, little bits and pieces, you take 1 8-ounce cream cheese. Doesn't have to specifically be by Philadelphia. I got this from Market Pantry on Target, so that it doesn't get stuck in the blender because you're gonna have to blend it. I cut it into fourths. And then you're also going to need sweetened condensed milk that I had pre-opened, so I didn't want them to go to waste. I'm gonna use these two, but usually you just need one. So then you're gonna pour it over here, and then you're going to need 1 full can of evaporated milk. That's going to look when it's in the blender. I did end up putting a little bit more of the one that I did not open, but it's just 1 can of condensed milk and then 1 can of, this is dangerous, of this, and then yeah. And the next step is just to pour it. And then just mix it in. And this is how it should look.